The company was only launched in April of 2025. We are a high-grade gold exploration story in Victoria, Australia. Victoria has been known for decades now of very high-grade gold systems. And recently, probably the global gold discovery of 2024, a company called Southern Cross and their Sunday Creek project. And we own 445 square kilometers directly north and contiguous to Southern Cross and their Sunday Creek project, which today is valued at close to $1.5 billion.
The Financial Survival Network. Now more than ever. The Financial Survival Network.
Welcome, everyone. This is Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Robert Ian. We are getting a sponsor update from our newest sponsor, Golden Cross Resources. CEO Matthew Roma is with us now. Matt, it's a pleasure to have you join us. Golden Cross is not only a new story, it's a new company. Please tell us about it.
Yes, Golden Cross Resources is a very new story and a very new company. The company was only launched in April of 2025. We are a high-grade gold exploration story located in Victoria, Australia. And those who are not familiar with the area, Victoria has been known for decades now of very high-grade gold systems. One of the highest grade, if not the highest grade gold mine today, Fosterville, owned by Agnico Eagle, is in Victoria, as well as the Costerfield mine. And recently, probably the global gold discovery of 2024, a company called Southern Cross and their Sunday Creek project. And we own 445 square kilometers directly north and contiguous to Southern Cross and their Sunday Creek project, which today is valued at close to $1.5 billion.
One of the things that I found really interesting as I went through your corporate presentation, you had a section in there on old gold workings on your property. Can you tell us more about that and the relevance to your current activities that are going on today?
Yeah, I think that's a very important point, Robert, and really what attracted us and has got us so excited. So back in the late 1800s, this area of Victoria was rich with artisanal miners, and keeping with the Victorian gold, mineralization, they would dig out these high grade veins, and then as low as they could go with a limited technology, and they would move on. And when we first acquired this project, we flew the project with LiDAR imagery, and it picks up all of the gold workings from those days. And why I showcase that, or why I highlight that, is the reason why Southern Cross drilled Sunday Creek is they had 6 old gold workings at the surface. And when we flew the LiDAR imagery on our project, we picked up several hundred old gold workings with heavily concentrated areas at the Reedy Creek goldfield, and also the Welcome Reef goldfield. And that is really at the Reedy Creek goldfield, that is where we launched our initial drilling campaign, was from being able to structurally map these workings and understand the way that these veins are running. It was basically, we would be able to just step right in and start drilling, and that's exactly what we did. And we have assays pending on those holes. We're waiting patiently for them, but it just showcases the prospectivity of the ground, the amount of workings that we've identified through this LiDAR imagery that have us so excited.
As I got ready for today's call, Matt, I did a pretty deep dive. I read through your news releases, read through the corporate presentation, and one of the things that I saw discussed at length, at depth, so to speak, is the drilling program that you have underway. Can you tell us about that, what's been done, what you're doing, and what you plan to do over the course of the next year?
Yeah, so we launched this company at the end of April. We raised just shy of $5 million. And with that, we announced a fully funded 6,000 meter program. And really the focus of the first few thousand meters was going to be on the Reedy Creek goldfield. And then we were going to let the results do the talking, whether we continue there or we expand the program to other areas. By kind of late June, early July, it was very apparent that there was appetite for larger investment in Golden Cross. And the only ability to get those individuals into the company was to do it through a private placement. So we ended up taking another $5 million in July, basically three times what we did our initial financing at, topping the Treasury up, today to close to $7 million. We are now well funded well into 2026 to continue drilling. To date, we've done about 2,200 meters. We're turning two rigs at the moment, and all of the drilling has been on the Reedy Creek goldfield. But there's a news release that was published earlier today on an area called Welcome Reef that we're very excited about. It has seen no modern exploration to date. We are the first operators that have actually been able to sign up and achieve land access. And it has a very rich history from artisanal mining. We're very excited to get on that project. Our team is going to be doing some work there this week with the hopes of having a drill rig on site later this year.
Matt, people always make the difference. A strong team, strong leadership. You began as a chartered accountant at Deloitte. Then you became CFO of Snowline Gold and co-founder of Gladiator Metals. Now you're director and CEO of Golden Cross Resources. Tell us about that journey.
I had a firsthand seat to witness two very successful CEOs with Scott Bertle of Snowline and Jason Von Tempo of Gladiator move companies from the initial phases of exploration and discovery through to developers that are best in class and ultimately played a supporting role there. So I think it was really a natural transition. To take on the CEO role, and I won't take credit for everything. I have a fantastic team that supports me day in and day out. But yeah, I've been very lucky to see companies be moved forward from as I mentioned, the idea phase to a recognized developer, and that's exactly what the intent is here, is to make a discovery of scale and move the asset forward. And we are 3.5 months in to hopefully a long and successful journey.
So, from your perspective, what's the current market sentiment out there? Are we in a bull market right now?
It's a great question, Robert, and it's something that you hear talked about almost daily. Whether we're in a bull market or not is it too early to tell? I'm not sure, but it definitely feels like we're in one. I have not experienced this type of market sentiment in my career. We first met, Robert, down in Boca Raton at the Rick Rule conference, and that was a topic. When that was 2 months ago, back in June.
Yeah.
And everyone was saying, this is starting to feel like a bull market. This is feeling like a bull market. And it's only gotten stronger since then. Whether it's here to stay or not is to be determined. But if you were to ask me my personal views, it definitely feels like we are finally in the bull market that we've been hearing people talk about for years now.
Matt, one final question. You've already touched a bit on the financing and the Treasury. If you could kind of give a recap of that and speak to the milestones that people can expect to learn about in the coming months.
Yeah, so Robert, we're a fully financed exploration play. We are actively exploring. We're putting our treasury to good use. We're turning two rigs. We expect to have assays back next month, and expect to have steady news flow by the end of September onward. Victoria is an area where we can drill 12 months of the year, and we fully intend to. And once we start to get some assays out of the lab, in a more consistent basis, now that we're turning two rigs, we should have a steady cadence of news flow going forward.
Matt, this is exciting news. I'm glad we have this update. I suggest everyone visit goldencrossresources.com. Sign up for updates so you can stay on top of this fast-moving story. The ticker symbol in the U.S. is ZCRMF. The ticker symbol in Canada is AUX. Matt, we will talk with you again soon. Thank you for this update.
Thank you.
The Financial Survival Network.